Hello everyone! I'm finally back after getting my wisdom teeth removed, and I am so happy that I can finally speak again. I missed making videos, and now I finally get to log in and make more stuff for you guys. So recently I've been delving more into what could be considered furry media, and I really wanted to give you my 2 cents. Before starting the actual drawing, I first had to figure out how to draw Judy and Haru. For that I did these sketches you're watching in the background right now. However, for Judy I accidentally deleted my recording, so here's just the image I guess. That really irked me because I didn't think that the sketches were half bad. Sadly with Haru I had a fair share of problems, and it shows. I mean, she kinda just looks like the Easter Bunny here, so I knew I had to change something. The animals in Beastars are pretty human compared to Zootopia, which gave me a hard time, so in the end I decided to draw her with the same proportions as Judy. But let's get into the actual video. As a disclaimer, I am not a furry and know next to nothing about the fandom, so if I say anything wrong here, please don't roast me in the comments. I simply wanted to delve into something that looked cool to me. And I mean, you already read the title, so this will be about Beastars and Zootopia. Let's start with Zootopia, even though I watched that after starting Beastars. When Zootopia came out in 2016, I honestly didn't care for it. Of course I saw the posters and everything, but it just didn't catch me for some reason. Funny, because now I'm actually looking forward to the sequel, but I am getting ahead of myself. Initially I thought this movie was something specifically made for furries, and since I don't consider myself one, I just simply didn't watch it. Until a while ago I was scrolling Disney Plus looking for something new to watch and spotted Zootopia, or Zoomania as it's called in Germany for some reason. At that point, I would have just kept the original title, but whatever. All I knew about Zootopia at this point were that the characters, especially Judy Hopps, are known to have some very questionable fan art made of them. But that was it. I was an open book looking to understand furries more, and let's say I understand the fascination with Judy Hopps now. Not in that kind of way, but you know what I mean. Right away I identified myself with her, and she's super cute. Immediately I wanted to draw her, but I had to suppress that feeling and finish the movie first. When it comes to Nick, I will say something that some people might get mad about. I still don't get the hype. He's a good character, but he's just not my favorite. Guys, please don't kill me in the comments. But now let's actually get into the story of Zootopia, which was alright. Not amazing, but in the end of the day it's a kids movie, and maybe I'm just reading way too deep into it. It was definitely entertaining, which means it's done a good job in my book, and that's enough for me. I just couldn't get that whole night howler thing out of my head. I mean, Judy grew up on a farm that uses them to deter insects and even knows their scientific name, yet she doesn't know the common name for that plant. Like I said, maybe I'm just being too picky here, but that confused me at the time. It's not impossible, but unlikely, I feel. Something I found surprising, however, was that Mayor Bellwether ended up being the villain. She was one of my favorite characters at that point, so to see her plot twist made me a little sad. She was another character I really identified with in the beginning. From the way she dresses and acts, minus the last part, to her species. There even was a scene where Nick touches her wool/hair, which definitely happened to me before. And some of you might even know that I like to knit and crochet in my free time. So that ties in nicely with the whole sheep thing. So basically I found my persona without trying, I guess. All in all, I enjoyed Zootopia more than I thought I would, honestly. I honestly expected it to be pretty forgettable for a kids movie, but instead I found myself wanting to draw more furries. Which brings me to the next point. When are you considered a furry? Like almost everyone, I think anthropomorphic animals are cute, and I've even drawn some, but on the other hand, I don't know much about the fandom. So can a veteran furry help me out here? Anyway, watching Zootopia really reminded me a lot of Beastars from its premise. I watched up until season 2 on Netflix, and then there simply weren't any more episodes, so I forgot about it for a bit. Then when I checked Netflix again just out of curiosity, I saw that season 3 was released, and I immediately watched it so I can compare it to Zootopia. And in the end I can say that Beastars handled the whole species conflicts better in my opinion. But of course Zootopia is a movie while Beastars is a series, so it has way more time to delve deep into the topic. Plus Zootopia is targeted at kids, which of course also means they can't get too dark with it. Pretty soon I started to wonder which one came first, and to my surprise it was actually Zootopia. Zootopia came out in March of 2016, while Beastars launched its first chapter in September of the same year. Do you think Beastars was inspired by Zootopia? So I asked ChatGPT, and it said that Paru Itagaki was aware of Zootopia when it came out in Japan, but that she came up with the concept before that. After all, before she even started Beastars, she released Beast Complex in 2015, which means that it's just a coincidence that the two tackle a similar subject. I also just felt like mentioning that I love that she wears this chicken mask to stay anonymous in interviews. I think that's just funny. But what did I actually think of Beastars? It's hard to say for me since the anime is still being produced, but I can give you my thoughts on it so far. Like I said, I think that Beastars kind of is the adult version of Zootopia in a way, and that makes it so much more interesting to me. The more I watched of the show, the more I became immersed in this world and wanted to know more about it. Especially the sea creatures that live in the water and speak an entirely different language interests me. They seem to function very differently than the land animals. But there are just a few things about this show that seem weird to me, like some of the character designs. I already mentioned that they look more human than they do in Zootopia, and I think that normal hands for some reason just seem a little off here. Some of them have claws, but most of them just have kind of human hands. That's just me though. However, the interspecies relationship still freaks me out a bit. Sometimes there will be scenes where the characters get intimate, and to me that always seems very wrong. Like, does nobody else feel weird looking at that? On one hand, Legoshi and Haru are super cute together, and you want to root for them, but on the other hand, I can't stop thinking about how they're different species. I hope you guys know what I mean. This led me down a rabbit hole because I began to wonder what animals actually can have a kid together and which can't. I always knew that a mule was a crossing between a horse and a donkey, but I didn't know that they can't reproduce, which made me sad. It's really interesting, but not what this video is about. And unsurprisingly, it's impossible for a wolf and a bunny to have a kid. But that of course doesn't stop them from getting married and being in a relationship. And I still hope that they do because they're so cute together. I wonder if they could even get married in this world. Is that legal? Maybe we will find out once they animate the rest. And speaking of animation, Beastars' 3D animation style really caught me off guard when I first saw it. Usually I'm not a big fan of 3D animation, but this is actually pretty cool and looks unique. It just took me a bit to get used to at first. Besides that, I also love Legoshi and his inner struggle with loving Haru and wanting to eat her at the same time. That's a really unique dynamic and really has you wondering if the relationship really has a future or if they're just too different. I doubt that they will draw that conclusion, but it still has you wondering, and despite the two of them being animals, their relationship is surprisingly realistic. Often in anime or manga, the conflict between two people will seem really minor, like a miscommunication. By the way, I kinda dislike this trope. Or it will be something you have seen before. Not that I don't enjoy a feel-good romance, but the relationship struggles never seem very realistic to me, and you always kinda know that everything will be alright in the end. But with Beastars, you genuinely don't know, and that has you at the edge of your seat. Okay, maybe that was enough yapping for today, but I just felt like sharing my opinion and hearing yours in the comments. Have you seen Zootopia or Beastars? And if so, what do you think? Other people's perspective on this is so interesting to me, you have no idea. And if you would like to get early access to my art or some exclusive stuff, then you can check out my Patreon in the description. Your support means a lot to me, even if you're just watching this video or liking it. I hope you enjoyed, and maybe I will see you in the next video. Take care!